We talk about this top 10 and Mount Rushmore and greatest, but there's somebody we ain't never talked about. Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. Come to find out, he's considered arguably the most overrated personality to ever be on ESPN. But yet he's the highest paid. Now, I went looking and they did a poll, and they do polls for everything. As back in the day, you remember when you wanted to see who was more popular and all that? Well, they got top 10 for everything. Come to find out, this squarehead turkey ain't even in the top 20 greatest personalities of ESPN. Not even. Um, a whole lot of people. Stuart Scott, of course, got high ranking. Now, of course, with Black and White, you see people's name. He ain't on that, but he's considered one of the most overrated. And I tell it all the time. Dan Patrick got out of there. Craig Kilborn even had love from that network. He had his own late night show, if I'm not mistaken. Remember? There's a lot of people that started there and moved on. Rich Eisen left too. Of course, Chris Berman was big. Comes to knowledge, John Saunders, uh, Mike Tirico, and there's a few cats that run circles around Stephen A. It's not even close. Not even close. That when you think about the ones that were the truth, it's not even, it's not even close when I think about, but how he got over as a personality. We just talking about, people that really put it down. He ain't even on the discussion. But his personality, he learned a lot from Skip Bayless. He learned a lot. Got over and been rewarded for below average mediocrity. Politician, plays the roles, yes, the bosses, does all that. But if they were going to have a all-time greatest that come on that network, he ain't even close. He's nowhere. He's not even, they don't even consider that. But that tells you how much of a funny farm and what they've done. They have become a network that just sells personalities, but not quality of talent. Because he's not better than Max Kellerman came and left him in the dust as far as talent. But you see, when they allow Shannon Sharps and they bring Cam Newton on it, and listen, I think Cam is got something there, because obviously he shut him down when he talked about quarterbacks. We're not gonna say nothing about certain personality on there who tried to play Cam down. They had to end up working with Cam because Cam broke it down about a starting quarterback and a game manager. So we're not gonna even talk about that. We're not even gonna talk about that. But when you look at the people who represent ESPN and they do the personalities and so on and so forth, no one mentions Stephen A. Smith. His name is nowhere in sight. So when he gives up a top 10, it's funny, on his own network, he's not even considered top 10. He's not even considered top 20. He is considered overrated because they say that he makes a lot of bold takes. He's a slurper, and he turns around and will, flip flop and say anything to sound good at the time. He seemed very disinterested. They've tried to give this turkey an alternate ego. The General Hospital tried to give him another side gig. No one was buying it. So he's got a little podcast now, which is doing good for him. Good for him. But his storytelling and where he stands on something is janky. The only thing I really like that he does is when he laughs at the Cowboys when they lose, which is normal. But even that is old because he slurps up to Jerry Jones. He'll never ever be no real journalist about stuff. So, but it's funny when he does his top tens or he says this person's, yeah, he came with that Kevin Durant thing, but he ain't in nobody's top 10 on personalities on ESPN. I'll tell you right now, if you're watching this, I want you, if you were watching ESPN in the 90s to now, or in the last 25 years, hey, I got a challenge for you. Let me know if Stephen A. Smith is in your top 10. He ain't in mine. Oh, and I know who I was trying to think of because I don't want to go cheating because I do it off the top of my head. Ralph Wiley, rest in peace. Probably the most poetic cat that network ever had. That sorry excuse for a network should never been able to have a guy as tough and on the ball as Ralph Wiley, because before Stuart A. Scott with Booyah, Ralph Wiley was dropping mad signs. But I can go Wiley I can go Stuart Scott. I can go John Saunders. I can go Mike Tirico. I can go with the brothers, the quartet brothers that run circles around with Stephen A. Smith because it ain't even about it. Even Marcellus Wiley, believe it or not, is looking like his degree is paying off compared to Stephen A. as far as journalists go. I mean, come on now, you know. But they're not hiring that. They're not hiring that. You know, when you really are watching the totality, that's not what it's about. It's politicking dumped down like a broke Jerry Springer episode. And that's all they do is talk about a couple episodes. That's why Charles Barkley ate him up. And he ain't got the half of personality as Barkley. But Barkley ain't on ESPN yet. But you know good and well he ain't on it. That's why he having to suck up to Shannon Sharp. Because personalities done changed. So when he used to boast and brag about his degree and talk about this and all that, well, what have you done, Stephen A? All you've done is become tabloid fodder right now. There's no journalism with what you're saying and doing. Anybody could do what you do. They just put a lot of money on you because you're a happy meal for them. You know how you a happy meal for them. Make them lots of money. And happy to get your 100 million. I'm not hating on your bag. I just don't like what you do as a so-called journalist because you don't report things accurate. You pick on more black athletes. You don't balance stuff out. And you don't really stand for nothing. But you get the grandstand. But come to find out when they take these real polls, you're not even in a discussion considering you're the highest paid and all the hoopla around you, you get no respect. To quote old Kumo D song, you get no respect. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like it, hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.